Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. I'd like to welcome you to your planetary energy forecast for the week of September the 16th, 2024. Wow, this month is sailing by. We have an interesting week ahead, a lot of beneficial blessings flowing, a few challenges. We begin the week with Mars in the sign of sensitive Cancer, still in a little bit of a difficult angle. It's walking away from a clash with the North Node in independent Aries and the South Node in partnership Libra. The nodes of the moon move backwards. And so even though they're at the lesser degrees, they're counting down to zero, okay? Versus the planets, which move forward. And so this little clash configuration is really kind of, Mars is a trigger, right? And so it's activating, it's really highlighting for you where the partnerships are functioning well and where they're not, where the patterns are and how to resolve them. Now, Cancer, is not Mars's favorite sign to be in, but we're stepping into this sensitivity, this level of sensitivity, and we can either embrace it as something like, ow, everything hurts, or we can be like, that's tender, why? And explore it in that fashion. Now, at the same time that that's happening, we have that little bit of difficulty there. We have Venus in the sign of Libra, where she loves to be, but she is standing across the sky from Chiron in Aries. So, again, this brings another layer of activation to the Aries-Libra axis in your chart. They stand across the sky from each other. And this is highlighting relationship issues. So bringing up the beautiful, independent Aries energy that wants to step forward and immediately address things that are coming up, versus the Libra energy, which is much more social, much more gentle, a little bit more like, let's not argue right now, let's put it off. That energy of delaying the almost inevitable situation can be a shadow of Libra. So observe those energies as they're activated at the beginning of this week. Partnerships of all kinds, whether they're lovers or business partners, really address any issues that arise. You are being led into a higher level of relationship, and so deal with the things as they come along. Now, the next thing we have to watch out for is we have an eclipse. So eclipses come in either pairs, 2 or 3 together. And this time we have a lunar eclipse on the 17th of September in the sign of Pisces. Now, eclipses are tied to the nodes of the moon. And so we have been going through an eclipse series of Aries, Libra, Aries, Libra. And in fact, on the 2nd of October, we will have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra. But when they're at the tail end there's a little bit of overlap. And so we are being introduced to the Pisces Virgo axis of energy as far as karmic interactions and moments. Now, this Pisces lunar eclipse is at 10:34 p.m. East Coast time, so adjust for your time zone, and it's at 25 degrees of Pisces. Now, keep in mind that Pisces is a pretty busy little house in everybody's chart, right? We've got Saturn there, we've got Neptune there. We also have Mercury there in Virgo, standing across the sky from Saturn. So that Mercury across the sky, in that ever so, discerning, but sometimes kind of critical and mean Virgo energy, that is standing across the sky here. And remember, a full moon is always in opposition as well. So the sun is very activated. And the sun is going to be walking through some major transits this week in a very beautiful blessing configuration to Uranus and Taurus, and then also flowing with Pluto and Capricorn. So those earthy signs are getting some big regenerative energies this week. So this full moon, I really see it as something that's going to kick some of that stuff off. And, there are some major things happening as these outer planets, the slow-moving planets, reach the later degrees and flow beautifully. And in fact, once we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week and into next, we have what we call a kite formation in the sky. And it literally looks like a kite when you look at the chart. The way the mathematical interactions of the planets are, because of the configuration. You're going to have this just beautiful connection. Now, it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy between those three outer planets and stepping across the sky from with the sun involved in there, and then I believe it's the Venus. Let me look. Appreciate your patience. Yeah, no, it's the sun. It's the sun stepping into that beautiful configuration. So it's the sun standing across from Neptune that creates our little kite, because that sun is also vibing with Pluto and with Uranus. And so this really brings in that need to embrace all the beautiful qualities of Virgo energy. Virgos are helpful, useful. They are, originally they were the keepers of the temples, right? The idea of the virgin was not something about someone's sexual relationships. It was about being whole unto oneself. It was about being autonomous. It was about stepping into a more powerful role as a visionary, as a healer, as someone who helped others. They were the keepers of the flame, so to speak, right? So during this time of harvest, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we are encouraged to be keepers, storers of grain, keepers of the harvest, people who are preserving and realizing that there are darker days ahead, as there always are this time of year. But we are preparing for them. And so it's important to be practical and to be grounded. So this little bit of synergy between the Earth planets is really, really nice. Now, of course, Uranus is there, which adds a little bit of eyebrow raising fun, all right? And Pluto's involved, which means even if it's positive, it's not always pleasant, okay? It can be positive and not pleasant. So be sure to step into those high vibrations, not just of Virgo, but of that Piscean Neptune energy. Very, very spiritual. So stay attuned to your practices this week. All right. Now, I also really want you to keep an eye on this Jupiter sextile to Chiron. So Jupiter's in Gemini, sending a nice little bit of energy over there to Chiron. This will help us to look at and explore our mental patterns, the things that need healing. How are we directing our energy in the wrong way? How do we get scattered? How does our mind get taken off track? If you think of every thought you send towards something as sending an energy cord and saying, yes, I want more. Yes, I want more. What are you sending it to? Are you sending it to your worries? Are you sending it to the past? Are you sending it to stress responses and negative outcomes? Like what are you doing with your thoughts? I was talking with a client this morning, and I had this visual of like a hot air balloon trying to take off. And if you're feeding nothing but negativity, it's like putting rocks in the bottom of the hot air balloon. It can't go. It can't be taken by the universe and the flow of things into the right spot if you just keep it weighed down all the time. So really make sure you're directing your mind in positive ways. And then also, we have our spring equinox on Sunday. So blessed equinox, the sun will move into the sign of Libra, the sign of balance, the sign of peace. It's not the sun's favorite place to be, but I do love me some Libras. So happy birthday to all of my beautiful Libran friends. Now, as that happens on the same day, we are having a really tense aspect with Pluto and Venus. As Venus finishes up her little jaunt through Libra, she's going to step into a square with Pluto and Capricorn. And so this could bring up tension, power struggles, the underworld type characters. And so I want you to be a little bit more careful, cautious with this energy. And then it will move into Scorpio, Venus into Scorpio, which is a distinctly different vibe, much more depth, much more sexual, much more occult positioning for our beautiful Venus star. So it looks like a really interesting week. I hope you found this useful and helpful. Good luck with that eclipse. I'm definitely looking at the positive, the good things for the week, the light of the week to be that Sun trine Uranus. Just, I love the power of synchronicity. I think if you believe in it and you can see it, it plays such a large role in our life. So keep those synchronicity goggles on for that gorgeous connection. And also Sun Pluto, you gotta love the compost, man. The compost is what feeds the garden. I'm also really digging the Jupiter sextile to Chiron. I really am beginning to feel the good work that Chiron's been doing in Aries, at least for me personally, and I hope you're finding that depth as well. Now, of course, as far as the shadow eclipses, I mean, as eclipses go, I don't think this one is particularly dire, but it is a serious eclipse. And remember, eclipses are not times for major rituals or, screaming out to the universe in some rash manner, because the consequences are quick and often uncontrolled. So just manage that energy with caution. I'm also watching that Mercury opposite Saturn, because that can always just bring a little wah-wah, a little heavy, Saturn. So it can kind of bring a little heaviness, and I feel like everyone's mind is already a little heavy. So make sure you're getting plenty of sleep and drinking your water and turning off your phone occasionally. And then finally, Pluto square Venus. I'm a Venus girl, right? I'm a Taurus sun, I'm a Libra rising. So anytime she tangles with Pluto, I'm always a little So caution flag up on that. All right, well, I hope you found this useful. I will see you in the tarot. Please comment below. It really does help the channel to grow. And let's see what the Isis Lotus Tarot has to say about how we should manage the energy of the week. Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. Welcome to your Isis Lotus Tarot for the week of September the 16th, 2024. So, eclipsing. We are about to be eclipsing. So, kind of like an introduction to the eclipses of the next couple years. So this gives us two possible ways to work with the energy of the week. This is for the collective. Alrighty. So the first card has to do with the past. So where are we coming from? Ten of Swords. So we're coming from this kind of feeling of, yeah, that didn't work out very well. Or something is just not coming together the way you thought it would. But this card reminds us that it's freeing us up for something else. Now you, the Tower, you've got to change. You've got to evolve. I mean, things are rapidly changing. It's interesting. It always feels like ever since I've started on my spiritual path, it's always like the peak moment, right? It's our time. It's blah, blah, blah. But it really is a unique time in human history right now. And we have to evolve and adapt to what's coming. All right. The environment that we're in, we've already done a lot of work. Nine of Wands. Keep going. We've done the work. And as these things come together, Five of Pentacles, sometimes we feel like we're not included. We are coming from this lack mentality, right? And so we have to watch that we're not sending that energy that way, that we're not, feeling excluded or like, we aren't understood by the people around us. We're not here to perform for them, right? And the key card of the future is the Four of Pentacles. Conservation of time, energy, and resources. Now, the opposing forces in play with this conservation card are one, Ten of Wands. Why are you trying to take all this on yourself? And on the other side, the Empress. How are you going to be able to create if you give away all your time and energy? All right. The near future card, Ace of Wands. So this is all preparation for a new beginning of some type. And with that Ten of Wands side, you've got to watch. You've got to be mature about this. You've got to watch that your mind isn't feeding the wrong things. On the Empress side, if you're trying to create something, be motivated by what inspires you, makes you happy and joyful. Paired with the Page of Swords on the Ten of Wands side, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, so grounded, practical, realistic. And on the Three of Cups Empress side, we have the Eight of Pentacles. You're gaining new skills and abilities here. You've been steadily working at this, okay? This is more of a, you've had this in the works for a while. Two possible solutions or outcomes. So that Ten of Wands side where you're trying to take on too much, you do want to start something new, but you have to be mature and grounded. You also need to consider the long-term repercussions of things. So think really big picture. Seven of Pentacles. On the Empress creation side, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, you want to create this thing. and you want to birth it into the world. You are moving towards things that make you happy. You're learning new skills, but then you need to start to practically implement the new thing. And then over here on the 10 of Wands side, paired with the 7 of Pentacles, we have the Star. So healing, hope, optimism, belief, trust, all important keys there. And then on the Empress side, we have the 4 of Wands, the right situation. So we start out with this feeling of lack or like crash and burn, okay? But you know that this is just going to usher you onto the next evolutionary phase. The environment, yeah, you've done so much work already. And you need to not feel left out, excluded, or a sense of lack. You've got to remember, key card of the future, 4 of Pentacles, conservation. Don't pour your energy, what's the pearls before swine or something like that? Don't pour your energy on people who aren't listening to you, who aren't a part of your future. Keep some energy back for yourself. And then the one way to handle this, well, we're all initiating this new beginning, right? But it's possible that we're taking on too much, trying to do it all ourselves. And then when we do that, we get like wah about it. No, we need to level up to be the Queen of Pentacles. And then think long term and what is going to really help us to heal. It's almost like you've got to give the world what you need. Now, on the other side, you've got this creative spark or idea that you want to initiate. And it's important that you tune into your happy emotions, the positive emotions, and also play the long game. And again, new beginnings, practical new beginnings that will be good for your family, but also will guide you to the right environment, the right supportive environment. So, looks like a very interesting week. I wish you the best, and I'll see you next week.